Are you working harder for yourself or your boss? It's a simple question, but it hits deep because most people don't realize how much energy they pour into someone else's dream while giving the bare minimum to their own. Think about it. You show up on time for work, you stay late, you solve problems, you push through stress, you do whatever it takes to keep the job running smoothly. But when it comes to your own goals, your health, your finances, your future, suddenly you're tired, you're busy, and you're overwhelmed. And it's not that you're lazy. It's that you've been conditioned to prioritize everything except yourself. You've been trained by society to give your best energy to the job and your leftover energy to your life. But your future deserves more than just the leftovers. Imagine what would happen if you took even half of your effort that you give your boss and invested it into yourself, your goals, your skills, your dreams. Imagine where you'd be in 6 months, maybe a year. How about 5 years? Working hard isn't the problem. You already know how to work hard. The real shift is choosing to work hard for you. Because the moment you start treating your goals with the same urgency that you treat your job, everything changes. You work hard every day. The question is, who are you working hard for? When you start giving your own goals the same energy that you give your job, everything in your life begins to shift. Invest in yourself. Build something for you.
Noel Langley said something powerful. A heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others. And as the older you get, the more you realize what that really means. It's not about how loudly you say you care. It's about how deeply your actions land in the lives of the people around you. You can tell the world you're a good person, but the real measure is how people feel when you show up. Do they feel supported? Do they feel seen? Do they feel valued? Because love isn't proven by intention, it's proven by impact. And here's the truth. People don't remember every word you say, but they remember how you make them feel. They remember the times you showed up when it mattered. They remember the small kindnesses, the quiet moments, the steady presence. That's what builds love. That's what builds legacy. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be dramatic. You just need to be genuine, consistent, real. Because the heart that's loved by others is the heart that gave without keeping score, listened without judgment, and cared without conditions. At the end of the day, your impact on others is the real reflection of who you are. Do you boss yourself around, or do you let someone else do it for you? It's a simple question, but it exposes a lot. Because most people don't realize how much of their life is controlled by outside expectations, deadlines, schedules, pressure, routines, all created by someone else. You'll follow instructions at work, you'll meet someone else's standards, you'll show up when you're told, but when it comes to your own goals, your own dreams, your own future, suddenly there's no urgency, there's no structure, there's no accountability. And that's the trap. If you don't learn to lead yourself, someone else will always lead you. If you don't set your own standards, you'll always live by someone else's. If you don't give yourself direction, you'll always be following someone else's path. Bossing yourself around isn't about being harsh. It's about being responsible. It's about saying, my goals matter, my time matters, my future matters. It's about giving yourself the same discipline you give your job, your responsibilities, your obligations. Because the moment you start leading yourself, everything changes. You stop drifting. You stop waiting. You stop depending on someone else to push you. You become the one in control. Rory Vaden said it perfectly. Success is never owned, it's rented. And the rent is due every day. And the truth is, most people want success to be a one-time payment. They want to grind once, push once, commit once, and then just coast. But that's not how growth works. Success isn't a trophy you win. It's a lifestyle you maintain. Every day you wake up, you're either paying the rent or falling behind. Not in a stressful way, but in a purposeful way. Because the people who grow the most aren't the ones who make giant leaps. They're the ones who show up consistently. They do the small things. They stay disciplined. They keep moving. Success doesn't care about yesterday. It doesn't care about what you meant to do. It cares about what you're doing today, right now, this moment. And that's empowering because it means you don't need perfection. You just need consistency. Pay the rent today, even if it's small, even if it's simple, even if it's just one step, because those daily payments add up to a life you're proud of. What do you want? What don't you want? How are you going to get there? These 3 questions sound simple, but they're the foundation of every major change in your life. Most people drift because they've never taken the time to answer them honestly. They know what they kind of want, they know what they sort of don't want, but clarity, that's rare. When you know what you want, you create direction. When you know what you don't want, you create boundaries. And when you know how you're going to get there, you create momentum. That's the formula. That's the blueprint. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need every step mapped out. You just need clarity on these 3 things. Because clarity creates confidence, and confidence creates action. And once you start moving with intention, everything in your life begins to shift. Ask yourself these questions every day. Let them guide your choices. Let them shape your habits. Let them pull you towards the life you're trying to build. Clarity is power, and these questions give you exactly that. It's easy to have faith in others, but it can be hard to have faith in yourself. And that's true for almost everyone. We see the strengths in other people so clearly, their talent, their potential, their progress. But when we look at ourselves, we focus on the flaws, the mistakes, the doubts. We judge ourselves by our weaknesses and judge others by their highlights. But here's the truth. You deserve the same belief you give everyone else. You deserve the same encouragement, the same patience, the same grace. You've overcome things people don't even know about. You've survived days that you didn't think you'd get through. You've grown in ways you don't give yourself credit for. Think about how quickly you encourage someone else. How easily you tell them they're capable. How naturally you see their potential. Now imagine what would happen if you spoke to yourself with that same tone, that same belief, that same compassion. Self-faith is a practice, a choice, a daily decision to trust your own journey. And the moment you start believing in yourself the way you believe in others, everything in your life begins to improve. Every week you do nothing, add 2 weeks to your job. It's a reminder that time doesn't pause just because you do. Your goals don't move forward on their own. Your future doesn't build itself. And the longer you wait, the longer you stay exactly where you are. Most people underestimate the cost of inaction. They think, I'll start next week, or I'll get to it when things calm down. But life rarely calms down. And every week you delay is another week you're tied to the same routine, the same paycheck, the same cycle. But this isn't about pressure. It's about awareness. When you understand that inaction has a price, you start treating your time differently. You start valuing your evenings, your weekends, your energy. you start realizing that small steps matter. A little progress today saves you a lot of time tomorrow. Your future is built in the weeks you don't waste. And the moment you start moving, even slowly, you stop adding time to the life you're trying to escape and start building the one you want. Your free time is building you or breaking you. Most people underestimate the power of their downtime. They think growth only happens when they're on the clock, when they're grinding, or when they're actively working towards something. But the truth is, your free time is shaping you just as much, maybe even more. Because your free time is where your habits live. Every hour you spend scrolling, avoiding, or numbing out, that's time working against you. And every hour you spend learning, reflecting, improving, or simply resting with intention, that's time working for you. Your free time is either reinforcing the person you're trying to become or pulling you back to the person you're trying to outgrow. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to make better choices in the quiet moments. Because your free time is building you up or breaking you down. Choose the activities that move you forward. You can't build momentum if you stop every time you start. Most people don't struggle with starting. They struggle with continuing. They get excited, they get motivated, they take action, and then they stop. Life gets busy, doubt creeps in, the spark fades, and before they know it, they're back at zero. But momentum is built through repetition, not bursts. It's built through steady effort, not random sprints. If you were driving across town and kept stopping for no reason, the trip would take forever. Not because the distance changed, but because your rhythm did. Same with running. If you stop every few minutes, you never get into a flow. Your body never settles, your mind never locks in. You never feel the progress that comes from staying in motion. Consistency is what turns effort into results. It's what turns goals into habits. It's what turns dreams into reality. You don't need to go fast. You just need to stop stopping.